had a beautiful 85 degrees with very low humidity. So we took the Galaxy out for a ride, showing you the neighborhood, saying hi to the neighbors, talking real estate, man. How cool is that? So my wife grew up in this neighborhood, and when we moved to Pflugerville, the neighborhood we lived in was like just a lot of crime. It just wasn't a very good place we wanted to be. So we had always talked about moving back into this part of town, and then we could see a neighbor waving. When we saw the house that we live in now, we made an offer and we actually lost it, man. We were so bummed, and we were disappointed. So I was like, all right, whatever, we'll keep looking. We'll find another one, right? And then about 2 days later, after we lost the contract, the listing agent called us back, said, hey, are you still interested on the house? Our contract fell through. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. So we came back with a different contract, different terms. And luckily we were able to still get the contract accepted. And we've been living here in the neighborhood since 2006. We love it here.
So you've been in this neighborhood since 2006, so almost 20 years.
Yeah.
How has it all changed?
Oh man, well, so there's always a normal transition in a neighborhood, right? Where it goes from like homeowners, and then those houses become rental homes, right? And then the rental homes get dilapidated, and then investors come in or new people come in. I think the biggest question I get too is like, what do I need to do without spending a lot of money to get top dollar for my home when in this neighborhood? And that's a common question. And the fact is, you're not going to get top dollar for your home unless you do those renovations. But it doesn't mean you can't sell your home for a good price the way it is, even if it's not updated. There's simple things you can do. What makes Forest North, this neighborhood, unique is the lot sizes. The smallest lot in Forest North Estates is going to be a 1/4 acre, but they're typically anywhere between 1/3 of an acre all the way to a 1/2 acre. So that's what makes it unique. But as far as what makes it feel like home, I think it's because, I don't know. I just think there's like a really cool sense of community here. I've sold other houses all throughout Austin, North Austin, South Austin, Round Rock, Leander, Kyle. And I talk to, my clients that move in or sell, and they talk about like, man, we hardly ever hung out with any of our neighbors. So I think that's, different about Forest North itself is that, we know each other. There's a mechanic in the neighborhood. My AC guy lives here. My plumber lives here. I remember when I met Marisol, I lived off Riverside in 35, and I would never come north. I would have to borrow like my friend's car to come up here because my car wouldn't make it. Like no way. I had like a 1987 Cavalier, and that thing would always break down. But I used to come up here for like a weekend trip. I used to pack a bag and like sandwiches for the road and stuff. It was so far, and now my friends make fun of me. They're like, man, Rodney, you don't come south of the river. And they're talking about Town Lake. They're like you don't go south of the river unless you have to. I'm like, well, what for? In North Austin, everything's there for us. There's really no need for me to go south anymore. And I remember when I moved over here, I was like, I don't know about North Austin. There's nothing up there. It's so far away. So if you're in the market to buy or sell, I would love the opportunity to interview for the job.